Hi folks, welcome to another STEMForce tutorial from KIOSC. Today we're working in Pixilart. So you're going to go to pixilart.com, click on New Drawing, 96 by 96 pixels, New Drawing, and click OK. I've got a reference image here of my example Magpie. I'm using the pencil tool and I'm drawing, making sure that I'm using up the entire width of the canvas to make the most of the space. So I've done the tail, I can fill it in with the paint bucket. Back to the pencil and drawing the main shapes. Body, head, wings. The wings are a bit tricky. So the way I did that was I sort of did one up the top and then copied the same sort of staircase pattern of the wings as they join up to the body. Now I'm going to do the feet. Now I'm looking up a reference image of a magpie because I realised with my example that I had in the top right, the eyes of magpies are actually a sort of browny orange. So with 4 little pixels, I've created the eye, and then I've just shuffled it back a little bit using the marquee tool. So I've got a bit of space for the beak. The beak was a bit tricky, so sort of just stepped down the pixels like a little staircase. Adding a few more white feathers near the neck. Adding in the beak so it's white. Remember that anything that you don't fill in with colour, and if you can see the checkered background, that'll show up when you put your sprite or asset into Scratch. So you want to make sure everything is filled in. Here I'm just going to add a little bit of tone under the feathers just to make it look a little bit more realistic, show a little shadow. I'm happy with that, so I'm now going to save it as a pixel, Magpie 01. We're going to save this to it'll go to our downloads and then we drag it to our pixel folder on our desktop. So now that I've done our first sprite of our magpie flying, we're going to do a second sprite with its wings fully outstretched. So I've saved a backup pixel file, and in Pixilart I'm going to merge all my layers together, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim the wings using the marquee tool. So select and then press the scissors. Same again. Delete the claw. And I'm just copying my second image as a reference here. So having the claws outstretched. Take your time with the wings. This is a tricky one to get looking accurate. So I'm just going to shuffle the wings back a little bit using the marquee tool. And just pencil in the bottom of the wings. Make sure they connect up. So I'm going to use the paint bucket, switch it to white, fill in the wings. Just tidy up any loose areas. I think there's a couple of little white dots at the top. Get rid of those. And now I'm ready to save. So I'll go to File. I'm going to save it as a pixel, Magpie 02. That'll go to my Downloads folder. So I'm going to open up Downloads. And I'm going to drag Magpie 01 and Magpie 02 pixel into my Pixilart folder on my desktop. Make sure I've got my two backups in there. And I also need to save PNG files because the PNGs are the image files we need to create our Scratch animated sprite. So I'm going to select 96 by 96 pixels and then I'm going to click download. And Scratch will make a default name for the PNGs. So you need to be careful when you do that. So as soon as you download your PNG, you need to rename it. Otherwise it can get a bit confusing. So I'll rename that Magpie 02. And before I made a Magpie 01 file. The good thing is if you forgot to save your PNG, you can always upload your .pixil file to save and download another PNG. So that's what I did in this video here. So I've gone into inspect my image and then I'm back in Pixilart. Open a new window. I'm going to drag my two PNG images, my two sprites, and they're going to go into my Pixilart folder on my desktop. Magpie 1, Magpie 2, drag and drop, and now they're both in there. Okay guys, so what you can do after you've made your sprite is you can have a look at our first Scratch lesson. So go into Scratch and search Stem Force, all in capitals, W capital 3, and then finish, press enter, and if you click that, this is going to show you what we're going to do in class for our first Scratch lesson. So click on See Inside. You can save this to your computer. And if I click on the green flag and expand it, and I press spacebar, you can see that I've got the magpie in there, and he is moving up and down and flying. Pretty cool. We'll get to this one in week 4.